CATV is proudly presented by Toyota.
Well, yesterday Nathan was talking about how he really enjoys having you on tour. After he's had 2 wickets in his first 2 overs, did you feel like you were pretty of a lucky charm?
Look, I don't know if I'm a lucky charm. I think we've developed a pretty good relationship, and there's plenty of honesty between us, and I think he's working on some good things and he's improved really well. So, things are going well.
Do you, when you're working with him, it's as much about encouraging him to keep doing the things he's doing well rather than pulling him up on things?
Yeah, look, there's not a lot of negativity. I think we came up with a blueprint about 1.5 years ago on the things to work on, and we just keep reminding each other on what he's working on and sticking to those basic things that seem to work for him.
Do you think sort of head-to-head when you compare Australia's, they're likely to go in Robin Peterson, we're going with Nathan Lyon, do you think Australia's pretty well stocked in that head-to-head battle? Yeah,
I think Nath, if he's bowling well, is as good as any finger spinner in the world. Conventional finger spinners. I think he's out-bowled Swan in the last couple of series, or the last series definitely. I think we're going pretty well with the spin stocks in Australia. We've got some good young ones coming through too.
Do you think it's fair to say that Robin Peterson's not quite in his category?
I haven't seen him bowl for a while, but I just think that Nath's best ball is as good as anyone's going around.
With that in mind, do you see him giving South Africans quite a bit of trouble, I suppose, particularly with all this talk about pace? They're probably more worried, spending more time thinking, how am I going to play Mitch, etc. Do you think Nathan's one that could really come up with some wickets in this innings?
Well, I don't think the conditions are going to really suit, particularly here. In Centurion. Port Elizabeth, they may suit a bit, and 4 left-handers in their team, so I think he'll bowl well against those guys.
What was he working on today? John, is typically just landing them, or was there anything tactically that he was trying to do?
He hadn't bowled a lot over the wicket to right-handers in the Ashes. He was coming around the wicket a lot, and I think just got very comfortable doing that. So we've sort of challenged him to be able to bowl over the wicket, start over the wicket to the right-handers, and trying to get them bowled through the gate and bring in first slip into play and bat pad. And then he's got the plan B to come around the wicket to them.
I think he's had 8 tests in a row now that he's played. How much is that sort of that consistency of selection helping his game, do you think?
I think for anyone, if you're in and out of the team, it's really hard. If you're to perform, if you're trying to just nail your position in the side, being comfortable in the team's huge psychologically. And I think that's played a major factor, and the fact that he's contributed really well has been good for his psyche.
And when you mentioned that you think he's as good as virtually his best rivals any other finger spinners in the world, is that a real big tip, considering someone like Ajmal, I think about 33 or something like that? Maybe only Ashwin's probably the same age as him.
Yeah, I mean, for a young guy, like he could play for another 10 years, can't he? So I think he's pretty well placed to have 100+ wickets at his age, and I think things look pretty good for him.
You mentioned about over and around the wicket. Is that sort of part of a wider thing of just making sure he's as, I suppose, flexible to the circumstances
just
possible?
to be adaptable and to be confident to do it and bowl different angles and to different players, and therefore being able to bowl to different plans.
These pitches, like you said, probably not going to spin a whole lot sideways, but there should be plenty of bounce there.
Well, that's right, and I think that was the great benefit that he had in the Australian summer. Swan sort of bowls more side spin, and Nath comes over the top of it a bit more, and the bounce got him the wickets really in Australia. So you'd imagine if they've got the hard fast wickets here, then he bowls well on those wickets.
Given what you were looking at Monday morning in Poch, sort of weather-wise, are you sort of able to look back now and be pretty satisfied, irrespective of what happens tomorrow, about the indoor training you've had and now this sort of centre wicket practice today?
Yeah, I think today was as good a centre wicket as for an internal sort of game. I think people stuck to the task pretty well, and I think we got a lot out of it.
Just general perspective from your umpiring role out there, how did you rate the overall bowling attack, apart from quick?
I think we bowled pretty well in periods. We were trying to get the ball up and swing it, and I think most of the bowlers did that. I think things look pretty good.
Working with Nathan closely, you've probably got a better idea of his development and his growth than anyone else. Can you give us an idea of how you've seen him come along since you first started working on his bowling?
I first came across him in the ACT before he'd gone to Adelaide, a couple of years before that, and he's come a long way from then. It actually surprised me how far he did come in that short period of time when he went to play for the Redbacks. But yeah, as I said, now it's just really exciting. So it's sort of, you can never write anyone off, particularly in spin bowling. No one's born a good spin bowler. You know, it takes a lot of hard work and dedication to it, and you know, knowing your action and all that sort of thing is really important. And I think he's done a really good job in coming, you know, changing a few things to get things right, and then to know his action. And the last year or so, he's really nailed it down.
One thing that is sort of, I suppose, a bit of a paradox about his career was, he started in the Big Bash, and now he's playing exclusively Test cricket for Australia. Do you foresee a period of time when, I suppose, he gets as confident enough in his game to chop and change to be able to do it?
Yeah, I'm sure he's good enough to bowl with the white ball now. I think the balance of the team with Maxwell there makes it difficult for him. If you want a great balanced team, you want someone to turn the ball the other way, I suppose. So I suppose that's the thing that's going against him at the moment, because I'm sure, and he bowled well in the Big Bash in the games that he did play. So yeah, I think it's just one of those things that the balance of the team doesn't really suit at the moment.